Feature in Google Docs is the suggesting mode. So by default, you're in editing mode, which means whenever you type or insert things, changes are actually made to the document. And if you're only using the document for your own purposes, that's probably fine. But if you've collaborated with this document with other folks, you may want to do suggesting mode so that changes that you make aren't changing what the other person did, but are merely making suggestions, sort of like comments to that person or your shared document. If you go to the far right, you'll see editing with a pencil. And if you click this drop down icon, you'll notice there's actually two other views, one being suggesting mode. So what suggesting mode does is whether or not this is my document or one I share with another person is if I decide to get rid of this paragraph, I'm like, you know what, that's just from the voice to text I was doing earlier. I'm gonna get rid of it. It doesn't actually get rid of it. It just strikes through it in this dark green and adds that as a comment to the right to show that this is something I'm suggesting that we do. You can then have yourself or others reply as to why what you're thinking, and it's just an ordinary comment. But when somebody sees your change and wants to accept it, the owner of the file, which happens to also be me, I could just check it to accept that suggestion and say, sure, that text is now gone. Or I could have clicked the X to say, you know what, no, I want to keep that text and do that. The same thing will happen if I insert images or tables or anything else. I can also add new text, and you'll notice that it is also surrounded by this green envelope to show that I'm just suggesting that this is being added. To make it permanent, I have to hit the check mark again, and it's now added to the document. I could go so far as to print this document and the suggestions wouldn't be there. They would just be there as suggestions for what could become part of the ordinary document. If you are in suggesting mode, remember that if you want to make actual changes, you need to switch it back to editing mode to return to its sort of normal state.